thank you so much, Markus, for coming today and talking to me. So
Absolutely.
I
Thanks for having me.
appreciate you taking this time. So I really wanted to talk to you because you just finished your first year in engineering program, right? So
Exactly.
how was that for you? Like, I know it's a hard course, right?
Yeah.
So how was the last semester for you, and with the change of the COVID and everything, how did that go for you? Can you explain to me?
So yeah, last semester was doing engineering, going into all the more higher level physics and math, and it wasn't easy, especially with the change in the COVID-19. I went into COVID-19 about halfway through the second semester. So then obviously everything went online quite quickly. I was managing throughout the whole process. It was like the challenge with the online that we had was just that there wasn't so much. It was so quick. The preparation was not always there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I managed to finish the year with doing it online with all the online teacher resources, the tutoring process online, the office hours online that was able to be done remotely, which actually enabled me to
finish strong.
like how I normally would.
Yeah, finish strong.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was a period of time where it was all a bit confusing and challenging.
Absolutely. In the first month or so, when the teachers, it was right, like just nobody had done it, right, and it was right out the gate, and it was we had to miss a couple days of school, of canceled school, so they could get ahead. Moreover, it was not so well defined and structured, but over time it got more sort of a pattern was developed. But it was tough because obviously I had to get this year done, and it was now this big rock in the middle, right? So, but.
And then how many courses did you have in the last semester?
I had 7 in the last semester.
Right? The course load is so huge.
Yeah, it was
just turning everything upside down almost.
Exactly.
But throughout that process, and since I know you, that you have such a positive attitude, right? About change and stuff, right? And it's something, yes. Maybe when I met you in grade 9 and grade 10 after that, it was maybe somewhat not there fully, but after working together and understanding how school system works and how education is taught and stuff, you became very confident in that. Like you have a huge mind shift, and that helped you throughout high school. And absolutely. I think it helped you a lot during this time when the things became uncertain, right? Tell me about your mindset. Like, how were you able to pull through 7 courses, change it like overnight, flipped the whole system upside down, but then you still ended up with doing really well, managing it all, and finishing strong with this.
Yeah. So with the mindset, with my mindset towards school and everything, it changed sort of as I was doing, when I started getting some tutoring for math, because I wasn't understanding, and then when I sort of got an understanding, then it sort of got a snowball on the other understandings of science and everything if you get that little jump, then you can kind of, it works together to move it forward. And I got a mindset that the education is just for you to like actually just learn new stuff, that to have in your mind so that you know what's up with the world or whatever.
Yeah.
And that sort of mindset helped me just get through thinking of what's at the end of the tunnel, get through the next step, finish the first year, and then this and that, right? Finish this high school, finish this university, and so on and so forth. To just keep moving forward, no matter how tough it is, just to get to the next step and lock in a step and move forward.
Yeah. Let's go back to like end of grade 9 and when you started grade 10. Like math was something, it wasn't making that much sense to you, right? So the way that what did I do that helped you the most, do you think, in those times?
What you did is what you broke down like onto a page the concept of what it was that I was doing, and you showed the steps to do a certain question and why each step was important and what that step did, whether it be manipulating a question or whatnot. And with those steps, if we move to another sort of concept or unit or question, you do the same thing with a pillar of that unit, break it down. And if I had the pillar of the unit broken down, then I understood how to apply it in more areas. But it was very clear. Everything you showed me was so clear about what I had to do and why I had to do it for the questions, that I was able to understand very clearly. It was incredibly clear, is what I have to say.
And you can use that same flow and the same systematic thinking in other questions, in other concepts. Not only that, and you even took it further to applying into chemistry, applying into physics. They all went across, and that was that change that gave you that confidence. Like,
absolutely,
I just have to approach everything systematically.
Totally. And I owe that to you. That was a very important learning experience I had to have about the
process,
getting the process, the pillar of the process, and then just applying it to other classes just on my own. And then it really was very effective, and it was important to get your teachings on that. So now I use that every day, right?
Yeah, and it goes even into our regular life if we have a systematic approach to it.
Yes.
Now that you've finished first year in university, you know how many systems in the physics, right? We're all
yes.
It's all systematized, right? So if you can understand the flow of it, then you can apply. It's consistent, right? And also what it does, it also eliminates stress, because if you don't have a system of thinking, you're just going to be, everything's just appear chaotic, right? So if you systemize it, then you have something to flow through, right?
Yes, and basically, anytime if I ever was not understanding something, it meant I didn't understand the process, the system of the concept or the question. Like if I have once I get the process, and then it's clear again.
Yes. The other thing that I noticed was also that you became more proactive in your asking questions to your teacher, right? Like, but when you don't understand, we all do it. I did it too, right? As a youngster, I struggled with math. So I also was pretending like, I can't ask my teacher, they're going to judge me. And so I better not tell them I don't understand. So you start pretending like you get it, but you really don't get it, right? So there's another part that I always encouraged you to do was to go talk to your teacher. Tell me about that, how that was valuable in university even, right?
Yeah, the talking to the teacher was incredibly important, because if I didn't understand a concept, I didn't have so much time for each course I had to fit it all together. So I needed to clarify things like immediately so that I could be ready for the next thing. And the teachers are there at the end of class, during class office hours. So it's important to make it easier for you, so you don't have to struggle with this or that or this one question. If you just ask them, they save you time. It saves you time always asking the teacher for help, asking questions in class. It just helps you. It just saves your time. And at the end of the day, they're there to help you. And that, when I learned how to do that, when I sort of conquered my fear to just start asking questions no matter what, like it could be this concept that everyone understands. If I don't understand, I need to ask, because I don't want to have to spend more time on it if it could be easily solved. Yeah,
why struggle when you can ask? Just
asking, right? Exactly.
And also, I think when you go there, you're not only getting answer, you're actually developing a relationship with your teacher. They're getting to know you better too as a student. That's huge in university, right?
Incredibly huge. That has resulted in me getting like a mark boost here or there, and it's important that you have these relationships with the teacher, so then if something goes bad, you're not at a greater risk of failing or doing this, that. Like, if you have a relationship with a teacher, it's very likely that you're going to get through the course doing well, right?
Yeah, because they've seen you invest time in trying to understand, and they've seen you struggle with it, and they know how much you showed your side of your motivation, right?
Yeah.
They see that. They're not one of those students who just coming to ask for mark. They know that you crave for the understanding.
Yes, and it's important to start the relationship early, because I've had a class where I did do just that, but then there was another class where I didn't do that, and I showed that I was more apprehensive to go to office hours or something like this because I didn't know the teacher, but as opposed to these other classes where I knew the person and I was just ready to just go up there right away, right? Yeah. So it's important to start early too, at the start of the term. Yeah, absolutely.
It really pays off, those visits, the office visits.
No doubt. It's a key.
Yeah, key to success in university. So if you were to advise somebody in high school, we've done first year, which is incredible with all the change. Like it's I congratulate you for that. It's a major shift, right? Like it's just overnight you shifted online and did it, right? So what would you advise somebody in grade 9 who's struggling with math or their mindset, because it's huge.
So I would suggest that you talk to the teacher first. And start developing a relationship with them that you want to learn, and they're going to be willing to help you through the things. And moreover, really try to go deeper into the little questions and look online, look on YouTube of stuff that could be easier, because once you kind of get it, the stress really goes away for a lot of these things. That now it's just you follow the process, you just follow the system again and again and again, and then it's much more easier to follow through, right?
And it works because you've had success before, so
absolutely.
That success that momentum, right? It helps you.
And moreover, try to devote the class time just to asking questions. And then if you're just the one asking questions, you're gonna have way less work to do later, and your understanding will be better. And then, that's what class is for, is just to ask questions.
But for a high schooler, it's probably harder to ask questions because they're either shy or they're like feeling very bad that they don't want to appear like they're either they call themselves dumb, right? Like a lot of the time I have students who say that to themselves, right? So for those students, it would be something that they could go after school or during the office.
Absolutely.
You don't really have to speak out in class.
Absolutely, yeah. Go after school, before class, or after school. Also, you could reach out to your teacher via email and ask what's a good time for me to come over and talk to you about this. Absolutely. I understand how that was, because I've also been there in grade 9 too, but
it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. No way.
Something.
Absolutely not. And as you get older, it's sort of it gets easier.
But that was something you really mastered, right? Even like after grade 9, grade 10, you slowly started asking teachers, and you saw how easy that made your life, right?
Yeah.
You saw how easy it was to do as you did it.
Yes, absolutely. It's sometimes very, very, it can be even very scary, like just, you don't know anybody in the class, you don't know, or whatever, asking a teacher and don't want to sound dumb or whatever. But as time goes on, and then you start doing it, and it just makes life's easier after that.
Mm-hmm. And your determination to become engineer, that was something that you started way early, right? You had an idea what you want to do, right? So
I sort of had to come up with a plan for what I wanted to do when I was older, like what type of work environment I wanted to be involved in. And I wanted to be sort of able to be outside, but also be in the office. And I sort of kind of came down to eliminated some things off in what I wanted to do, to be working in the civil engineering or mining engineering, so I could do that. So when I came up with the plan, the school became more, that's the stepping stone to the plan, as opposed to just, oh, I'm at school, what's the point? But if you got the plan, then it's like, this is part of the plan. You got to keep doing this. You got to do as good as you can, because this is the stepping stone to the next stage. And it really just makes it like everything's super interesting, just because you have a plan.
Yeah, and that's your internal motivation.
Absolutely.
Even as a coach, or your parents or anyone or your teachers can give you that. If you're not internally motivated by something, it doesn't have to be engineering. It could be simple as something that you want to be or want to do or discover, or even travel, right? It could be anything, but you need to have some kind of motivation on, and don't think school as something that you just go every day, but it's part of the plan. You're going
so to anybody in high school right now, just come up with a plan, what sort of, you just got to look at stuff and narrow down what you want to do, and then once you got a plan, things become a lot more clear, and you can stick to it and choose the best direction you go.
Mm-hmm. What would you say was the most thing from the coaching that helped you in terms of learning? We talked about the mindset, that was huge, but that also came from you having a plan. The plan came from you, right?
Yeah.
I didn't help you with that at all. It's not even your parents didn't put that in. It was just your interest and your curiosity. Correct. You started thinking out, and also you thought you wanted to work in a certain way. That was very cool. At a young age, you thought I needed to be outside and indoor. Where can I balance both? So you planned it out really well, right?
Yes. So to your question with the coaching, one of the most valuable things I learned was, for each concept, writing out the sheet. Now, this sheet had the equations, where they applied, this, that, everything about the concept or the unit on this paper, that you would show the different things, and you'd show me to put it onto this cheat sheet, that it just condensed everything into my mind with this sheet. Mm-hmm. And everything was, it wasn't sort of just showing me how to do the question, it was giving me an example and explaining the concept, and then it was like you were bringing things together to do the question.
Yeah. You had a systematic approach, right? That's the first part, right? Which we would always make whenever I explain a question to you. I would say, okay, what are we doing here? And then it will be like, why are we doing it, right? And why is this formula important here? And how are we going to memorize this formula? Because sometimes you get formula, sometimes you don't get formula, right? And it could be also about calculator, right? That's another thing that people a lot of the time miss, right? Like, what part of are you going to have no calculator? What part will you have a calculator? Then you have to have your mental math checked, right? So these are things that when we teach a question, or when I take a homework question with you and everyone else, it's like it may just be a one question, but you can bring in like so many different concepts that covers all of it and puts it together. And if you're missing any of one part of that, is what makes you not understand that whole understanding of the question, right?
And I noticed that, I know Kohila is very familiar with the whole teaching process at school, so she knows what teachers look for, and she knows how teachers deliver questions, how they operate, and it sort of creates this thing so that you also know what the teachers expect, how they expect it, so that you can do better from that alone as well.
And I think also giving you that, let's reverse engineer it, right? Like what the teacher is looking for. Like, become like an investigator of the question rather than just doing it. Doing doesn't do anything. You got to research it, right?
Absolutely.
Every question, even in physics, you probably noticed that, right? There's a purpose why the teacher asks a question.
Yeah.
If you can understand what is the purpose and then that's what they want you to understand, is that purpose. Because that's what the knowledge is all about. Why are you doing it? Why is this applying to this, not to this? And if you could get that, they understand that you really got the concept and the whole what they're looking for, the wholesome understanding of the whole thing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what's the future plan for you for the summer?
Well, the plan for the summer is for me to go to work up north, and then for the fall is to continue my studies doing civil engineering in the Okanagan at UBC Okanagan, and sort of try to just develop my skills related to job hunting and those sort of things is something I'd like to focus on as well. And yeah, but continue on in the civil engineering into the second year is something I'm really looking forward to getting done, right?
Yes. Something that you said in this interview that really, really is so true is that make a plan, right?
Yes.
And then see how you can execute that plan. And to execute that plan, what do you need?
Absolutely. And if you make the plan, it works out. Like if you put it in paper, it has a way of you just working at it, and it just seems like it just happens. Like if you put your mind to it, or you write it down and you say this is a plan, then it's very likely that you're going to complete the plan.
Yeah, and it becomes your guide. It becomes your guide, right? Because some days was hard, right? With 7 courses, it's incredibly hard work, right?
The year was really tough. I mean, from like all spending till very late at school every single day, and it really takes its toll on you. But then you just got to think, well, this is a couple more months, and then there's the winter break, a couple more months, and then there's the summer break. So you just got to keep pushing through and getting some friends at school to be your study partners, and you just go in 100%, and you just devote yourself to it, basically.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes.
Yeah. So in high school, you had a plan, and then you were struggling because you did not know how to sometimes approach some of the concept, and there was a fear that I can't ask my teachers because, of course, I might sound dumb or people will make fun, right? And then when you got that piece, when you found that piece through coaching, when you had both of them, you started excelling, right? You knew how to do everything. You were confident. Your confidence level went up, right?
Because when I asked Coheed, I could ask Coheed a lot of questions because I wasn't in an environment where I was anxious or shy about the students, and I could just ask a lot of questions, and it sort of just carried over because you're used to asking questions if you're being taught something in a tutorial, and it just carries over. So that was very valuable. And
also when you come to coaching, there's no judgment. There's never a wrong question, right? If you're not getting it, that means that I haven't explained it properly. If you're still confused, then I haven't done my job properly as a teacher or a coach, right? Then I would go at it another way. Okay, let me show you this way, or let me bring you in another example, right? There's never a wrong question or a stupid question.
That was so true. I find that so true because that was incredibly valuable with that. With there was the pace was that I didn't get this, so I needed to look at this more deeply in this section. That was incredibly helpful to just make sure I really had a good foundation going.
Yeah. And another thing is that when you go for a test, we'll prepare it as reverse engineering it, right? Why would you get this question? Why would they ask this question, right? We will prepare for a test like that. But also I always tell my students, and yourself too, I probably told you how you have to be truthful to me by letting me know what you got on your test. Some people usually don't share that with the coach or tutor, right? Because they feel like they didn't do really well. Only share the good marks, but not the worst mark. But I always encourage, it doesn't matter what you get, tell me what you got, right? And what was that about? How did you feel about that? Because every time you would bring back anything you got wrong, what did we focus on during that?
So we focused on, because if I got a test real wrong, like either 50, 40, something that really bad, then I would know sort of what I didn't understand, and I would be like, well, this I just didn't get, and I would feel like really honest with Kohila because I knew that she had the ability to sort of help me understand. So I didn't feel like to
be shamed, right? It is not as something as shame, like I got this all wrong, she's gonna judge, and like I'm gonna judge you. It wasn't like that. I gave you a space where you can come back and we can research what went wrong, right? That opened up
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now it was incredibly important, because if I got a bad test, I needed to get the understanding back, and Kawila could sort of target where I went wrong on the test in a way that I could do better next time.
And also adjust my coaching, or adjust what wasn't the concept you didn't get, or if it was maybe more than that, could be anxiety, right? We always feel anxiety over test. It's never going to go, right? Every one of us feel it, but we just need to learn how to control it and how to outbeat the anxiety, right? So it could be anxiety, or is it because you didn't understand the question, or you didn't have enough sleep that night before? There's so many factors go into it. So when we were able to analyze it, we can say, oh, that's what went wrong. Okay, next time I can do this. Next time I should have done that. We can do this, right? We learn from the test. Mistakes are always a learning opportunity, right? It's opportunities, not just like, oh, you got wrong, yeah, you must be dumb. It's not a place where it's like a judgment. It's actually a place where you should go back and grow from it.
Yes.
And I think you got really good at that. You would always ask me what went wrong here, and we would go over those. And
it just, as time went on, and with Kohila, I was just able to grow as a person in a way that I could start branching out, and it was just, I really felt that was very, very, very useful.
And also, I think another thing that happens is during that, when we go over test, is that I always say marks are byproducts of your efforts, right? If you understand the concept, and if we put enough effort what you need to do, it just comes. You don't have to worry, I need to get 90% or anything. If you do all the parts right and systematically approach an exam or test, the results is gonna show it no matter what. If it doesn't, then we have to say, what steps did we miss, right? So by going over the test, I think, it was a big game changer for you. It opened your eye that I don't really care about your mark, but I really care about how I can help you with it, right?
Absolutely. It was all about understanding in a way that not just I understand it, but I understand it like forever. Like I understand how it works from all the angles that I just know now. Like it's not something I memorized. It's like I just know. And you taught me how to just get to know something that I know it for forever.
Yeah, that we worked on a lot of tests, right? We will go back and fix them. By going over them, we were able to go and say, no, don't worry about the mark, but let's just see if you got the concept. Let's just get the concept, right? I've seen a big growth since grade 10. You started just stepping up, and because I think it's so important. I tell all my students, like, you got to have, like, it does, I mean, everybody says, oh, you have to have a plan. It doesn't mean doctor, engineer, or something like that. The plan could be whatever you want, but it's a plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Plan, yes.
Plan,
so true.
Take it as a steps to reach your plan. And when you have it, it's shown in your self, right? When you have that, it's an internal motivation that'll drive you even to the first year university engineering program. When you have 9 courses at a semester, or 7 courses in a semester, and even through COVID-19, when everything changes online in 3 days notice. And then you go in and get it done.
Absolutely.
Finish the year.
So true.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I've seen such an incredible growth, Markus, and I just can't tell you, working with you, like it was like as you change, I get so happy about that too, right? Because I'm seeing a growth, right? At the end of the year, in grade 12, you didn't even want any coaching. Grade 12, you remember? In calculus, you were like, I can do this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's winning for any coach.
Yeah, just as it she taught me the skills, the real skills to just move forward and depend on myself. And she taught super important skills in all of my learning and education. Those are skills that I will have around forever, and they were instrumental.
Yeah, and I think that's even if everybody can have that kind of influence in their high school. It doesn't have to be me, but someone who gives them unconditional environment for them to show their vulnerability and to express their questions and without being judged. It gives that confidence for that student to flourish with their own dreams and what they want to do. And that's what happened to you. And I think you did really well in your first year. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for coming.
I appreciate that. Thank you for all the help. And I was happy to be on here. This was good.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Quill.
Thank you, Markus.